Welcome back to Find and Focus Talks. Today, we are really excited. We got Parris Campbell joining us. He was a student at St. Vincent St. Mary High School, the same high school that we're at right now and that we have all went to. He's still at. And he's actually getting his jersey retired tonight. Really great football player, just great athlete, has a bunch of records in track here and went on to play football at Ohio State University. Is now a Super Bowl champ with the Eagles, now currently playing for the Cowboys. But most of all, we've got to know him as a man of God, an influence and someone that we look up to in our faith, but also view as a brother. So we're here to sit with you today and kind of chat and talk about our faith and just see where the conversation goes. We were chopping it up before. Kind of know where the faith's at right now, but like as you're moving into kind of a crazy season of life, you're busy the whole summer, transition to the Cowboys, crazy life change. How's all that been, and then how has faith been like kind of the center of all that?
Yeah. Well, first, I just want to say thank y'all for having me. I'm really excited to be here with you guys and do this. But yeah, life has been, it's been kind of a whirlwind. I mean, I guess that's kind of just life in the NFL a little bit. You never know what's going to happen, and things can happen at any moment. But yeah, the transition to Dallas has been fun. Believe it or not, some guys hate moving, and I've got kind of used to it. We bought a house in Texas. We're going to make Texas home base for a little bit, so that's exciting. Excited for that blessing from the Lord because it was kind of crazy how that came about. But transition's been good. Family's good. Kids are good. Wife's good. So it's been fun. And then faith. I mean, y'all know me. Like, it's taken a lot of faith to get to this point, and it's taken a lot of faith to make a transition to Texas and buy a home there, and look for schools, and it's always funny because sometimes I feel bad like for my kids because. My son, he's growing up. He's 7 now. He's going into 2nd grade, and he's been to 3 different schools in 3 years. Yeah. And he's kind of built a friend group at each different place, and then I kind of like rip it away from him. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I truly know that the Lord He's placing us in places that we're supposed to be. I know it's all divine timing, and now we have home base, so he won't have to worry about that. He'll be here for a little while, regardless of what happens with the team. So, just that's kind of been life right now, and we're looking forward to what's to come.
Dude, I heard this quote recently about like the Lord's timing is always kindness, mm-hmm. which is hard to believe because sometimes it feels really like not kindness. Right. But like that's something that kind of stuck out to me there. But like one thing as we've kind of gotten to know you, like more than anything, like it sounds like you're just like the passion as a father mm-hmm. is something that you really care about. Yeah. Which is like amazing. Yeah. And like for us, we love to hear about that and like, having our own fathers and all that mm-hmm. stuff. For sure. Like it's a great thing to hear that as you're doing all this stuff, your focus is on being a father. Yeah. What has that done with your relationship with your Heavenly Father?
Yeah. So it's actually funny that you bring that up because this has been something that like during this off season, I really made a point to kind of just talk to my wife about it. And I came across a sermon on Instagram, actually. And he was talking about, I forget who it was, but he was just talking about how, just as Christians, as followers, we try to, have these, like, all these different buckets of, like, where we try to be present and, pour into, and whether there's different communities or whatever the case may be. Like, we always are trying to pour in and give and talk about Jesus to other people. But he was like, you can't do that if your first ministry isn't intact, which my first ministry is my family. And that's parenthood, that's being a husband, that's my inner circle. Yeah. And man, it hit me. And, as of lately, like that's kind of already the path I've been like just trying to make sure that I'm doing the right things and making sure that I'm present with my kids and making sure that I have a little bit more patience and I'm giving them grace because, that's what our Heavenly Father does for us. And it hasn't always been that way for me. When I was a young player in the NFL, rookie year, second year, third year, I didn't know how to separate the two. I didn't know how to separate work from home. I would let a bad practice or a bad day bleed into, you know, when I got home and end up taking certain things out on my family that it had nothing to do with them. You know what I mean? Like they weren't there at practice. They didn't know what happened, you know, at work that day, but I was letting my emotions and the result of what happened at work bleed into my family life. And quickly saw how, you know, that was wrong. And, you know, my wife, I love my wife to death, and she doesn't bite her tongue on anything, especially when it comes to me as a father, as a husband. Like, she points things out. If something's bothering her, she points things out. You know, that's one of the reasons why I married her. She's not gonna let, you know, if there's a problem, she's gonna say it. And she told me it once, and it was humbling because she was like, I really believe that you're letting football become an idol for you. And in the moment, I was like, dang, like, I didn't really know how to take it, because I'm like, well, shoot, this is how I provide for y'all. This is what keeps food on our table, clothes on our backs, and why we have, you know, the things we have. And you know, but I took a couple of days. Like, I didn't even say anything to her in the moment. I was just kind of like, all right, like, yeah. And like on the inside, I'm burning, I'm mad. I was like, dang, how could she say that to me? But I took a step back and like really wanted to see it from her lens. And you know, so I took a couple of days, thought about it, prayed about it, and I was like, came back to her, I'm like, yo, you're absolutely right. And I appreciated her for saying something like that to me, because it allowed me to check myself, right? And it allowed me to check my relationship with God, number one, because if I'm letting football become something that's more important than him, then we already got to disconnect, you know what I mean? So, yeah, then I think just tying that into like being a dad, one thing that I realized probably like my fourth or fifth year in the league was like, my kids don't care like what happens in football. Like, they don't. Like, they don't care if I drop the ball. They don't care if I messed this route up. Like, they don't care. Like, all they care about is when I walk through the door is that daddy's on. Like, that's it. And I think thinking like that really switched my mindset a little bit. Just like be all I can be for them. Like, when I leave that building, like, whoever I was that day at work, whatever happened, like, just leave it there. And just when I get home, like, when I walk through that door, I get joy of seeing my kids run to the front door. I get joy of my wife coming into me and hugging the kids. Like, that's my safe space. And I was allowing, you know, bad days, whatever, mess that up for myself. You know what I mean? And it's funny because I think just talking about like the enemy too is like the enemy works like that. The enemy isn't always like this big, like, oh my gosh, in my face moment. He works in like small, precise ways. And it's always like either I'm going to put this in your face and you make you so busy that you forget about this, or I'm going to do these little things to kind of get your attention off this. And it's just constant. Then when you get here, it's like, dang, I'm so far away from the Lord, I didn't even realize what was going on. But that's his tactic, you know what I mean? And I could kind of see that happening in my life a little bit. So, yeah, but I've been trying to just locked in on that. Like, that's been my sole purpose of like making sure my first ministry is in order. So praying with my kids, praying with my wife, like making Jesus a priority in our family, which, I mean, we already do, but like putting the time and effort into it, you know what I mean? And everything else to kind of take care of itself. But then I can go do podcasts, I can go talk to, you know what I mean? Like, but I got to make sure my first ministry is in order first.
Absolutely. It's crazy to me because, like, I think, like, what a blessing you have in your spouse. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like, you know, you hear different stories from. My favorite thing is when I listen to sermons online. This guy Francis Chan, I don't know.
I've heard of him.
But I was listening to one yesterday, and he was like, at their 30-year marriage anniversary with his wife, he's like, I don't know another couple that's as happy as us.
Right.
And they're like, and they're talking about all their different friends that are great couples, but have all these different like troubles and all this stuff. And I just like listen to like to have a partner that will say that to you. Like, oh my gosh, like that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Someone who cares about you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's crazy because like she wasn't always like that. Like when we first started dating, she wasn't always like that. She would kind of be a little bit timid or something that was bothering her, but like just growing together and growing in that, like, because it's important to her, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't, like you said, like, she cares about me, but she also doesn't want me to miss the small moments that I have, like, with our kids. Yeah. Like, our kids are 7 and 3. Yeah. Like, my son, like, it feels crazy that he's 7 years old, and it feels even crazier that my daughter is 3 years old. Like, I feel like she's still supposed to be a baby, like, you know what I mean? It's just, life goes by so fast, and, you know, like, I would be freaking ashamed. Like, if I let something that's only for a moment in my life, like, don't get me wrong, I love football, but it's something that's only a moment in my life.
Yeah.
If I let that ruin, my relationship with my kids in their childhood, like, shame on me, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm so grateful for her, like, so grateful for her. And the Lord has been working in us, too, as just a couple and as parents. It's just so phenomenal that we're able to have certain conversations that we had. And I mean, we're talking off camera just about, just the conversation we had. And man, I don't know, it's been super cool to see and super cool to grow, with her as we continue to move on. So
yeah. The Bible verse that came to mind as you were talking about that, as like she started off more timid with you, and then as you guys have grown together, she has been more like your partner. You know what I mean? And I've never really understood it. And I got like, sometimes they have those Bible verse cards. Yeah. I got handed one time, and it was perfect love casts out fear. And like that's what came to mind, because it's like as you grew in love with each other, the fear, the timidness disappears. Kind of the same way with the Lord. Like, you know what I mean? Like as you, like at first it's like, I don't really know what I'm doing with you. I don't know how that's going. And then like, as you grow, it's like, oh, like this is like I can be real with him. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All the people that we've talked to on here who are like had those moments, like especially Mr. Laurel, I'm like, once you get to that point with the Lord where you're not like scared or you're not timid, like we've been saying, but you can be in those like deepest, darkest moments and reach out, like, why is this happening? Like, just be honest with them, and that shows true love. That's a true relationship. Yeah. That's how it works in life too. Yeah.
I think something that comes to mind for me, like I have a specific instance in my life where that happened. It was honestly this past season. I mean, you guys know the story about me being released at the beginning of the year and then signing the practice squad and being on practice squad, getting elevated, getting released again, going back to practice squad. Like, then, like, during that moment for me, like, it was so much, like, up and down, but my relationship with the Lord was, like, so, like, it was so good in that moment. Like, I was praying so boldly. Like, I was praying, like, I'm like, Lord, you're the reason I'm even here in the first place. Like, you opened this door back up for me. Like, if I would have did it on my own will, I wouldn't have been here. So I know you have to make something happen. Like, Lord, please make, like, it's on you to make, like, I'm praying boldly, like, aggressively. And that was the first time in my life that I've ever prayed like that. But it was because I was so locked in into hearing his voice, so locked in into, like, before I did something, I would pray, like, Lord, move, like, allow me to move in the right direction, allow me to make the right decision. And I think that's to you guys' point, like, that's that scripture, like, man, fear was out the window. Yeah. Like, I feel like I can go to God as, like, my best friend. Like, you said, this, not me. Like, Lord, I asked you to open the door for me, and you allowed the door that, like, you know what I mean? Like, so, I think that scripture is true, and I think everybody comes across that point sometime along their walk, so.
Absolutely. So I got kind of an interesting question. Like, so through your journey, went through St. V playing every single sport, felt like, and being really good at basically all of them, and then moved on with football to Ohio State. Pretty exciting stuff. Yeah. I looked up this morning that you have like the single season reception record or something still, and I'm like, that's crazy. But when did you meet the Lord?
So I've always known the Lord. I grew up, and my mom and my grandmother are the two pivotal people in my life who kind of was in control of my faith life. And when I was growing up, it was something that, it was just something that I had to do, right? It was something that every church or every Sunday when we were going to church, if I had friends stay over, my mom was like, well, make sure they have church clothes because we're going to church. And, it was just kind of like one of those deals where, I was just there, kind of just punching the clock, like not really having a personal relationship with the Lord, but just something that, my family made me do. And then just throughout my life, like when I was here at St. V, I had a little bit of a personal relationship, but it was still kind of, my mom and my grandma were kind of like the middleman between me and Jesus. So I would go, if I had an issue, I would go to them, and then we would pray. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I could go directly to Jesus. And I would say it was a little bit like that until probably about my my junior year of college. And then I started to build that relationship on my own. You guys know I have my son Kai, who's 7 now, but you know the story of his birth. And I think that was a pivotal moment in my life where I was dealing with, him being born, him having the complications that he had when he was born, deciding to come back for a 5th year at Ohio State, worrying about how am I going to provide for my son and my then girlfriend at the time, and then how am I going to handle, I have to have the best year of my career at Ohio State to make it to the NFL while being a dad and then also balancing school.
No pressure.
Yeah, right. So I think just me being presented with all of those things at once, I had no choice but to turn to the Lord and kind of create that, my own relationship with Him. Because to be honest with you guys, like, I mean, I didn't face a whole lot of adversity while I was in high school. Everybody knows, like, I came to high school for day one and it was just always good. And when I got to college, I hit a little bit of adversity the first year just because, the talent level, everything rises and everyone's equal, everyone's fast, everyone's strong, everyone's big, everyone can make putties. So a little bit of humbling there for myself. And then kind of just building slowly, but kind of just start at the bottom, having to work my way up. You know what I mean? That was humbling for me. A little bit of adversity, playing with, I graduated high school at 16 years old. So I was on campus at college, freaking 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 22 grown men. And so that, that experience in itself was a little bit of adversity. But until my 5th year of college, I didn't hit real life stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would say that's when my personal walk started. Yeah.
Bro, that's so crazy because you went from kind of everything kind of just being like blessings, and then just everything possibly imaginable that could be weight thrown on your shoulders all at once.
All at once.
And that's I couldn't even imagine. But so since that moment, so you started walking with the Lord, and in the hardest season where you don't know what let's be real, you didn't know what was gonna happen then. You didn't know especially, I don't know about you, but I'd be freaking out because I'm I have all this stuff to deal with and I gotta have my best year.
Yeah, right.
Those don't correlate.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I mean? But it did happen.
Yeah.
You go second round in the draft, and start that path.
Yeah.
What was that like? Because now you start walking with the Lord. What was that like? The fact that He through that season provided for you still, and now set you up for this path that you're still going on.
Yeah. So I would say, unfortunately, I learned a lot because I was able to go on my 5th year and have my best season.
Yeah.
Things were good at home. Taylor, my wife, she held it down like no other. During that time, just with my son and me balancing football in class and all that stuff. That's when I knew. That's when I knew I wanted to marry her. And going to my rookie year, getting drafted and all that stuff, obviously I knew it was nothing but the Lord. But earlier in my NFL career, I would say I started to just get blindsided and be all focused on me. And I was well, I got to do this, this, and this so I can be this. I want to win this award. I want to do this. I want to be this. I want to be a starter, all this stuff. And I lost sight of the Lord, honestly. And I say that honest and open book. I'm not ashamed at any point of my walk.
Yeah.
But I got into the realm of I can handle this. Something happens, I'm in the NFL now, making a certain type of money. I'm good. I got this covered. And then we'll only go to the Lord about certain things. But it's no, my entire life needs to be submerged in Him. He needs to be the source of every single thing that's going on in my life. And He humbled me because at the end of the day, our God is a jealous God. And when we put anything else in front of Him, He has a way of getting our attention. And so my first 3 years in the NFL were injury riddled. And it's funny because it was always a super high and then a super low. So I would do something good, have crazy games, crazy stats, and then I'll get injured. Come back from that injury, get real high again, another injury. I had 3 surgeries my first year in the NFL. And I had never been injured at any point in my career. Of any sport that I did, I mean, I was a 3-sport athlete here at St. V. Rigorous schedule of football at Ohio State. Like, I had never got any serious injury. And, my first year in the NFL, 3 surgical repairs. Like, and then I get into my second year and come back from all those injuries, get into my second year in the league, first game of the season, bro, ball out. Like, crazy game, crazy stats. We lost the game, but, like, I came into my moment of, like, all right, I can play in the NFL. Like, this is my confidence level. And you can kind of see things tailoring to, all right, well, Parris, he's about to be the guy. For the Indianapolis Colts, he's about to be the guy. He's coming into this role. He had this great camp. He had this great first game. All right, we're about to start tailoring the offense around him. He's about to be this player. Week 2, we played the Minnesota Vikings at home. It's during the COVID year, so, like, wasn't many fans in the stands. First play of offense, I get a jet sweep around the corner. Harrison Smith, big-time safety in the NFL, comes flying down. Tackles me, takes my knee out. I tore my ACL, tore my PCL. I was out for the year. And so that was my second year. But that year, my life was the most pivotal. My life, my career, my walk with the Lord, like, that was the most pivotal because anybody that's had a knee injury knows how tough it is to come back from one. And, bro, I dealt with thoughts about retiring because my knee wasn't progressing the right way. I was just kind of defeated just through that entire rehab process. And I got to the end of it all. And so again, like, healing from that and then coming back from that, going into year 3, it was kind of the same thing. Like, I was learning how to play football again from the knee injury. They had switched me to outside receiver. I mainly played inside receiver. And so I was learning a new position. So that training camp was kind of tough for me because I'm like, all right, I'm coming off a knee injury. Y'all want me to move outside to play outside receiver? Like, dang, like, let me at least get my feet back wet before you're trying to move me around. But I was able to do it. We went into the season. The first 6 weeks of the season, like, I was starting, playing well. And then week 6, I ended up catching, like, this long touchdown, like 65 yards or something like that. But I break my foot on the play. And, like, in that moment, I was like, dang, like, why again? Like, why is this happening again? But, bro, I kid you guys not, and this was just me and the Lord working through this, but I came to this conclusion, and I'm like, the Lord is telling me, like, Parris, you're doing it for the wrong reason. Mm-hmm. You're not, your focus isn't in the right place. Because when I would have these high moments in the NFL and these great games and all this stuff, it was all about me. I would go search my name on Twitter to see what all the good stuff was being said about me. NFL is posting clips and highlights. I'm posting these, look at me. Not once did I ever sit back and be like, oh, wow, thank you, Lord, for blessing me and allowing me to get through all this. You know what I mean? So, that was kind of my life and how the Lord got my attention, right? Because he would bless me with something, but then he would take it away. I wasn't reacting right to the blessing. I wasn't thankful enough for my blessing. And that was just me and him doing the work on our own. So, I mean, after I broke my foot, after that 3rd year of breaking my foot, like, I shifted everything. Like, let's rip off all these layers. Like, let's work from the ground up. So me and my wife were doing Bible studies. I was in the Word daily. I was praying daily, like, really trying to shift my focus and make it him. And, he ended up coming through and blessing me like no other. But it was just funny how life works. And it's funny when you see, like, the Lord has his hands, like, over all of it, like, good, bad, and different. Like, his hands are over all of it. And, I came there to that realization.
I think God doesn't ever give you anything that you can't handle.
Absolutely.
Like, whoever you are. Like, he knows you more than you probably know yourself. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't give you anything you can't handle. And coming off those first injuries, I mean, there's got to be a part of you that's like, why now? Mm-hmm. And learning to walk with the Lord, through those injuries. So that's probably part of the reason.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, you just said it, bro. I mean, it's, like I said, it's funny. It's just funny how, like, when you look back and really, all right, I can sit down and look at these years of my life and see how pivotal they were for not only me as a person, but, like, my walk. And because if I did, like you said, like, he didn't give me anything that I couldn't handle. He knew that I would bounce back from it. But being able to mature and realize what it was and what it was for is all a part. And then I saw a sermon not too long ago. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Parris family, Jackie Perry, and her husband, they do like a podcast, and they're kind of into ministry. But anyways, she was giving a sermon, and she was saying, as humans, we all have, our top-notch qualities. We all have things that we're good at, and, whether we're in that field or not for work, like, we're blessed with these qualities to be able to handle a certain amount of things. Like, so for me, being good at football, like, I know that this circle of, like, I know that I'm going to be good at this. I know that I can handle this. But she was saying, she was like, so if the Lord didn't place hard times in our life, if he didn't place adversity in our life, why would we depend on him? You know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't have a reason to, because we feel like we have this area in order. So strength in mind is where the Lord has placed things in my life to be like, no, you have to depend on me. Right. You know what I mean? And ultimately, what she said was the end goal is the Lord doesn't care about our comfortability. He cares about our salvation. He doesn't care about how comfortable you are. You know what I mean? Yeah. He wants you to be saved by grace. He wants you to have an opportunity to live with him eternally. He doesn't care about football. He doesn't care about what your job is on a day. Like, he's blessed you with the ability and the blessings to be in that, but if you're not going to do it the right way, if you're not going to serve me, what is it for? And especially if it's not going to bring you to salvation, what is it for? You know what I mean? So I just thought that was interesting because I forget what scripture it is, but there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about, I forget who it was, but there was a thorn in his side, right? Yeah. And he was praying to God to remove the thorn, but God didn't remove the thorn. And there's a bunch of guessing around this scripture of like, okay, well, why didn't God remove the thorn? And I've come to the conclusion is God didn't remove the thorn because he needed him to see that I need to depend on the Lord. Yeah. Whether I'm going through adversity, whether I'm going through hard times or not, like, I can pray that this adversity goes away, but if it just goes away, what did I learn? Yeah. You know what I mean? What did I learn from this thorn just being removed from my side? You know what I mean? So I just think it's interesting how, like a father, you know what I mean? Like, he teaches us, and we're able to learn in those situations. So
I think another big part of that, which you guys have been talking about, is also like your outlook. And that's something that I've noticed since we started. First minute you started talking about when you moved to Texas, you said it was a blessing from God. And then you talked about the draft process, and you said it was nothing but God. Mm-hmm. So I definitely think a big part about being a good Christian is looking at your outlook in life. And I have this Bible verse here that I've had the entire time because I knew it was applicable to today. And it is one of those Instagram Bible verses that you see a lot. But Jeremiah 29:11, Nick already has it highlighted. Mm-hmm. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen for you. And that's the thing that I've really taken away from you, is that you trust in God. Like, you've had this absolute roller coaster of a journey, and the fact that you're always able to just surrender to God is huge and inspirational.
Yeah, it hasn't always been like that. It's taken some time, honestly. And it's funny because people ask me now, it's like, well, now you're on the Cowboys, so what's your plan and what's your goal? What do you want to do? I'm like, obviously I have personal goals, and I want to make the team, I want to be part of the roster, and I want to play and play well. But it's, to be honest with you, it's like, and I'm kind of fighting this a little bit because this is year 7 for me in the NFL. I only want to play about 2 more years tops. My body has been through the ringer, and I'm kind of just like, all right, I'm getting kind of it hurts to wake up in the morning, it hurts to pick my kids up. I'm trying to take these next couple years delicately, but I'm really at a point right now where I'm just like, Lord, just let your will be done. Mm-hmm. Whatever that looks like. I'm going to go to work and I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to train my butt off still. I'm going to put in the time. I'm going to put in the effort. But just have your way. Whatever that looks like. I don't know what it looks like, but I'm trusting you because I have no choice but to trust the Lord. Because when I sit back and look at my life and how it's panned out, it has genuinely, I've done nothing. I've done nothing. Yeah, I've worked hard. Everybody works hard. Everybody that plays in the National Football League works hard. Mm-hmm. But the way that it's been put together, just like a puzzle piece, I couldn't have written this story any better. And, I today, when I get my jersey retired, I'm probably gonna get emotional. I'm probably gonna be up there talking, trying to speak and whatever, getting emotion. But it's just so. It's so crazy. I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't have imagined it in my wildest, craziest dreams. And so like that's why I have no choice but to put my faith in the Lord. I just have no choice. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing I can do to alter anything. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And I'm a big believer that God knows better than me. He probably knows better than all of us. So it's like, when has God ever been wrong?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Never. And that's why you really just gotta put your trust in Him.
Yeah. It's like sometimes we get so stressed out about certain things too, and it's like when you stress out and like over one thing, but then something happens greater than what you were stressed out about. It's just like, how was I ever stressing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wish we could all just live life like when something hits us or we're going through something or we got something big come up, just be like so cool and collected, just knowing that like, man, the Lord got it. Like, you know what I mean? Because anything that's not positivity, anything that's not just kind of living and being like cool and calm and collected, like anything that's confusion, anything that's stress, that like we know that's from the enemy. And that's how he tries to throw us off. And so, man, I don't know, I wish every human could live like that. It's hard because we're humans at the end of the day, but yeah.
I think something that like I've been wrestling with recently is like kind of like you said, like eventually the Lord proves out in your life, like, yeah, this suffering, I'm gonna use it. Yeah. Like you're gonna make it out. But then when you're in the midst of the suffering, you can have the head knowledge and know, okay, I know there's something, but that does not help the heart. The heart is still hurting.
At all. Yeah, that was kind of like my last year in Philly. Like just through all that stuff, I'm like, I know that the Lord has something for me, but this sucks.
Yeah.
Like I'm on practice squad. Like what? I thought what? And that's my ego talking. But I'm like, never did I ever think I would, first of all, be cut from an NFL team ever. I'm like, what? Like I've always been the guy. And so, like I said, that was my ego talking. But through that time, I'm just like, man, this sucks. Like life it sucks right now. Like it's not what I thought it would be. It's not what's going on. But through it all, I get activated for the playoffs, playing every playoff game, playing the Super Bowl. Now I'm a Super Bowl champ. Like, and it's not even about football for the Lord. He's like, no, I just wanted you to see that it was going to be good. Like, just trust me. Yeah. And so now I can take what I learned from this season and like just go through the rest of my life with that, right? Because he just proved it to me. He proved it to me. So, yeah, it definitely does not help the heart at all. Because I mean, that's just human nature, though. Yeah, that's just human nature. And I think it's funny because this thought just popped up into my head. But when Jesus was getting ready to go through the crucifixion, we see in the Bible that he says to God, he says, let this cup be passed from me. And I think that's as relatable to everybody sitting in this room. Yeah. Because our God came to earth in flesh, and even though he's God, he still had a human moment where he was like, Lord, take this away from me. Like, I don't want to do this, right? Like, and that just goes to show how our relationship should be, as he's our best friend, as we can just go to him and just talk to him, because he lived a human life. Yeah. He knows what it's like to be human. He knows what it's like to go through adversity. He knows what it's like to do something, have to do it. Not necessarily, not saying he didn't want to do it, but he had a human moment where he was like, let this cup be like taken from me. Like, I don't, like, you know what I mean? So I just think I think that's so cool that he's that relatable to us, in the same time being our God. Yeah. So
that passage has changed my life, because the first ever like sermon that I gave for that event we talked about was on that. And I read it like every day, multiple times a day. And then next thing you know, that sermon ends, and for the next few months of my life, the amount of moments that I've had to be like that, I'm like, okay, I see why you made me do that. Yeah. But what really stuck out to me when I was learning and reading through that is Jesus goes back to the Lord. And it's like he's wrestling with the Lord. Like he's like, I really like, are you sure? Like, and it's so like, you get back to the relatableness, because like not only is like, Lord, can we do it another way? He goes, can we do it another way? And then he comes back and he says, well, I really don't want to do it this way, but if you wanted to, then, and then it's like, finally, it's like, okay, like if this is the only way, let it well be done.
Full submission. Yes. Full submission. And yeah, I think we go through that. Shoot, I've gone through that. I'm at a point in my life now, it's full submission.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to do, just do it.
Yeah.
At this point, I gotta like, what else can happen to me in the NFL?
Yeah.
I've been cut.
Yeah.
I've been released again. I've been on practice squad. Like, what else can happen to me? I've been at the lowest of the lows. So really, what else can happen to me?
Yeah.
I get cut again. Okay, what? Okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's got something better. And I try to stand on that. I try to stand on that, and knowing that His will is better than ours. And that's kind of been my prayer lately too. It's just like, Lord, allow my thoughts, allow my wants to align with Your will in my life, and just live it out, man, and see how it goes. Along while trying to be a disciple of Him, and just bring people along. So
Yeah, I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So we talked earlier about how like football became an idol, but how has it, as you've like had that realization, how has it become more of like an instrument?
absolutely, man. It's become, like you said, it's become an instrument in ways that I've been able to connect to so many different people. And the locker room in Philadelphia was like church every day. Whether it was people debating, people asking questions, people being curious, whatever the case was, it always circled back to Jesus. And I kind of built this repertoire of being like the church boy in the locker room. Like, I was always talking about Jesus, or I was trying to bring it back to scripture or something like. And so people just started to like kind of gravitate towards me and talk about it. We had other people in the locker room too who were like are really deeply rooted in their faith, and like we would get in combative arguments sometimes. And but like my whole thing was like, whether it's a debate, whether it's people trying to debunk it, like we're talking about it. Like people are curious, and the Lord tells us to be childlike in our faith, and curiosity is something that's important. And like when you're a child, you're super curious about everything. You want to know where we're going, what we're doing. This like so. The curiosity was something that was fun for me, because I'm like, the questions that I could answer, I would answer, but the questions I couldn't answer, I'm like, well, let me go back to the Word and let me see how, so it was just like this ongoing like conversation. And so football, it's allowed me to be in rooms that I never thought I would be in. It's allowed me to be around people that I never thought I'd be in, people with, just the most financial freedom. It's allowed me to see that side of things as well. Bro, I've been in locker rooms with people who make $100 million. And at the same time, they make all this money, but it's not fulfilling them, because there's something that they're still not. Either they want more money, either they want more something. They want something. But I tell people all the time, it's like, the money's not going to fulfill you. Like, the richest people in the world, I think about this, like, what do the richest people in the world do? Like, take, for example, Jeff Bezos, right? What conversation can Jeff Bezos come in this room right now and have with us? What is he going to talk about? We're not going to understand anything he's talking about at all. But at the same time, he's looking and he's searching for like that next high. Like, that's why he's doing. I'm building, going to space. I'm doing stuff like. You're always chasing that feeling, but with Jesus, it's already fulfilled. Like, I've been around people who have been working their way into the NFL the entire time, like undrafted free agent, practice squad, cut, came back, signed, but they're so grounded in their faith. Like, they don't want for anything. Like. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sure, they want to have an opportunity to play in the NFL, and they want to be on the team and do this and that, but it's like, I'm content, because like I'm just grounded in my faith. And so I've been able to see those extremes as well. And then like the Lord has just used the sport in my life, man, to be able to touch people as well. To be able to give back. My second annual campus this week on Friday, and I just can't wait, because like just seeing the kids out there running around, man, it's a blessing, because I was that kid once running around Akron, and so I'm blessed to be in a position to do that as well, and blessed to be able to help my family in certain situations, and just kind of be like the light. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been an instrument to sure do.
What inspired you to go out and start doing stuff like this?
It was something that I always wanted to do. I never really knew like how it would look or how it would work, and I was always kind of timid to like kind of just dive into it and do it, because I didn't know what the turnout was going to be. You know what I mean? I didn't know, if people would come out, if people would take to it, or people like even like with the podcast. Like, I've always kind of just been timid at first to do things and like reach out and like create a community and pour into people, because I just didn't know how people would take it and how they would receive it. But it's been the best thing. Like I don't know, like I just went for it, you know what I mean? And so my first camp last year, that was freaking phenomenal, man. I mean, the turnout was amazing. We had like over 200 kids. We had parents sit in the stands and watch and support their kids, and it's cool to just connect to kids and kind of be a light for them and like show them that, you know, even though, you know, we're from Akron, Ohio, like you can make it to the top of the world, you know, with faith, with hard work, and, you know, believing in yourself. And this, I don't know, man, this has been cool. Like it really humbles me though. It really does, because, you know, I have kids of my own, and, you know, I'm trying to raise them up to be, you know, good stewards and faith driven, and, you know, just all these things. And I don't know, man, I pray that I continue to do it and do it the right way, and, you know, just that the Lord be there in the midst of it and all. But I don't know, it's been cool to see it all come together.
Yeah. One of my like favorite episodes that we did was with Mr. Arlen, and he talked about he has tattoo with these different arrows, and each arrow represents one of his kids, and it goes back to in Psalms. It's like that's something basically the purpose of the psalm is like prepare your kids like an arrow, sharpen your kids for the age until you send them off. Yeah. At that point, you don't know if you sharpen the arrow well. Hopefully, it'll fly well. You know what I mean? And I just like it's such a like I'm thinking, and like just from a bird's eye perspective, like you look back on all the stuff that you've been through, and again, you would have never chose that, but the Lord put you through that, and now you're a better father because of it. And you would do that a million times over.
Absolutely, again. I would do it 10 million times over again.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I look at my kids, man, and like people talk about legacy, but it's like I think about the next generation. Like I get chills. I think about my kids, like who my kids' friends are going to be, or what are they going to do when they're my age? Like what are they going to be doing? Like what type of music are they listening to? What are they feeding their souls? Like that's what I think about. Yeah, sure, legacy is cool, but like I'm trying to build like Christians. Like I'm trying to build followers of Jesus. I'm trying to like build believers. Yeah. Because I know with those qualities, like the people that they're going to touch, the souls that they're going to impact. Like that's what I'm worried about. Like sure, like I'm sure they'll play sports, and I'm sure they'll be really good at it. Yeah. It's cool. They'll go through their experiences. They'll have fun. They'll play the game. They'll make friends. They'll do this. But, you know, I'm concerned. I'm concerned more so about that. Yeah. And I know, like, with my son, he's 7 years old now. And, you know, so the story behind his birth, like just having the complications and, you know, him basically not being alive when he was born and being resuscitated, having brain damage and all that stuff. And the doctors look me in my face, tell me that he's probably going to have cerebral palsy and he's never going to walk on his own, never going to talk on his own, all these things. And to see my son now, 7 years old, he's the smartest kid I know. He's just did this like exam and like testing thing, because he has like really bad like ADHD. It's like, I think it's a little bit of an effect from the brain damage that he had, because it affected his frontal lobe a little bit. But he's just super hyper, and like he fidgets all the time, and he has a little bit of like a separation anxiety. But he had to go through these tests, and kid you guys not, like he's in the 99th percentile in every freaking subject. Like he's like the smartest kid I know. Yeah. And like the results come back now, they're like first grade records probably like too like elementary to him. Like the way he's able to process things, and his processing is like 100. I didn't even know you could be in the 100th percentile or something like it. But his processing, like his brain literally works faster than his body. Like his 7-year-old body can't keep up with his brain. That's crazy. And it's like it's just like amazing to me, because I was once told by official doctors and things that he would never walk or talk on his own. Yeah. And like I'm like, that's nothing but the Lord. Like, but it just reminds me, like every birthday that he has, like how far he's come, and like the little boy that he's growing to be, and like that's my responsibility. Like he's my responsibility. Yeah. Like I got to make sure that he's on point. I got to make sure that I'm putting the right things in him and instilling him with the right qualities and beliefs. And like one day he's going to be out in this, and like what is that going to look like for him, right? You know. And then same with my daughter, like she's 3 years old already, and like she looks up to him, and like, you know what I mean? It's just like, what is life gonna look like them when they're your guys' age, or they're getting ready to go off to college, or, you know what I mean? It's just, I think about that nonstop.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to raise them up the right way. You know what I mean? And like I said, legacy is cool and all, but like,
Yeah.
I'm worried about their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like God would be the same way. Like he would look at each and every one of us and be like, you know, hey, he's smart, or he's really good at music. You know, stuff like that. Look at all the qualities we have and be like, that's my son.
Yep.
Or, you know, that's my daughter, or something like that. We've been on the topic of fatherhood, and I use this analogy on different podcasts, but I think it's still applicable to this. So let's say your son comes up to you and he's like, Dad, I have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Can you help me? And then you're like, what would you say?
Just if he had a problem.
Yeah, he's got a problem.
I mean, I would obviously help him.
Yeah.
Figure out what
And
problem it was.
if he's like, no, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. You'd still want to help.
Oh,
It's like no
absolutely.
matter what,
Absolutely.
you want to help, whether it's a big problem or a small problem.
Mm-hmm.
And God's the same way. We can go to him for no matter what, if it's a big problem or a small problem, because he's our father, he's our spiritual father, and he wants to help us.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think that's cool because my son actually does that. He'll go up to me and be like, yeah, Dad, can you help me? Oh, never mind. Because he'll see me, like, I'll look at him like, all right, what do you need help with now? And he'll be like, oh, never mind. I'm like, no, like, you already said it. Like, don't shy away now. So, yeah, that's cool. I really like that. I think that's a good point.
And I think the takeaway from that story, like, that I've always had, is like the father's actually happy that, like,
Yep.
especially like I remember, like, even with my own dad, like when I come to him with the heavy stuff that I'm dealing with in life, he's just so joyful that I came to him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, and I just, when you apply it to our Heavenly Father, it's like he sees us running around trying to run from him, and it's like when we finally come to him, like there has to be a joy in it. But the question I was going to ask you, because like you're kind of in this, but and you're already doing it. You're scared, and maybe not scared, but you're thinking like, what are my kids, like what's the culture going to be for my kids?
Yeah.
But you have the ability to somewhat influence that culture, right? And help create a good culture. What advice do you have to us, to the younger generation, to people that as we're kind of rising up as well? Like what advice would you have?
In terms of just like for you guys, or like when you do enter like parenthood, or like, you know what I mean? Or both?
Well, let's do both, yeah.
Okay, so I would say for you guys now in the season that you're in, and like simple, clear cut, but like if you're a Jesus freak, be a Jesus freak. Like no matter what environment that you're in, right? Because you guys are going to go off to the colleges, and there's going to be certain groups of type of people all over. I mean, just already certain types of people in the high school building as well. But like, I would say, like it says in the Bible, like don't conform to the things of this world. Like you be true to yourself. Like stand on your faith, be grounded in that, and like really use that in every situation. Like if you do come across some people that might not take to that, like don't change for them. Like don't, you know what I mean? Because especially like too, like just in the, I guess the adulting world, and like when you got coworkers and all this stuff, and you see how certain people live, and you see how well this person has this or this person's doing that, and it's like I feel like you get pulled in so many different directions of like especially in NFL, like some guys like wanting to keep up and like just give off the persona of like, oh, I'm this professional athlete, I have to live this certain life, I have to do this and do, like, just stay true to you. And I know that's cliche, a lot of people say that, but like I like genuinely mean that, because I've seen a lot of people get caught up in a lot of things that they're not about.
Yeah.
Like at all, you know what I mean? And it's a slippery slope to destruction.
Yeah.
The further and further you do something that's outside of you and what you believe in, the further and further you get away from the source, which we all know is the Lord. And like I talked about that earlier too, like the enemy just being so precise in his movements, and so like not all in your face, but just being these small little increments of like busyness or attention elsewhere, and like social media, like just all this stuff, like building to get you further away from him. And it's like by the time you're at the end of it, you look at him like, dang, like how did I get this far away from the Lord? You know what I mean? And then too, like when y'all step into that next realm, and it's like you have little ones to look after. I think the biggest thing is really obviously like starting the foundation of like knowing who the Lord is, but like being open and honest with them about like faith and like spirituality. I can't freaking word if you hear good. But like just that things don't work unless you're locked in with the Lord. Like, and then like what they consume like on a day-to-day basis, because this day and age, like social media, like you got iPad kids. I probably have a little bit of iPad kids, stuff technology, but my son plays Fortnite, like all this stuff. But like being aware of like the things that I have going around in the house, like the music that's being played in the house, or the things that's being watched on TV. Like my son and my daughter, like we only listen to Christian music in my house. We listen to some country music. Shout out to Morgan Wallen, we listen to him sometimes. But like the secular stuff, like I've thrown that out of my life because first I saw how it was working in me, and just how like you repeat things and you don't even know what you're saying half the time. You know what I mean? But like the more and more you say stuff, the more and more you know these words to these songs. Like the more and more it becomes reality for you. Like that's a life you don't want to live. And so like my kids are jumping for joy, asking for Christian music in the car, like, and I love that. Like, I'm so proud of that. Yeah. Like, I want people to get in the car with me, my kids be in the car, and my son asks, "Dad, play this song," and it's like about Jesus. Like, I just love that. Yeah. I'm proud. I'm so proud of that. So I would say, like, obviously start building that foundation early, and then just like, what are we feeding our souls as a family, and like watch what you're feeding your kids, and like, and I'm not talking actual food. I'm talking like consumption of social media, consumption of music, consumption of things that's being like just all that stuff. Because their brains are in the developmental stage from like I think like 4 to 10 is like the most pivotal time in their life, and like where they're shaping the, like who they're going to be, and what they believe in, and like just the lessons that they learn and things that like this the most pivotal time in their life. And I got a 7-year-old who's like he's watching. Like, he watches every little thing, like, everything that I do, he wants to do. Like, just from, like, the freaking type of underwear I wear. Like, he's like that locked in, you know what I mean? And, like, but that's just how I know it's just so important, like, to, like, really make sure I'm feeding him the right things, making sure I'm doing the right things. So, because he's looking at it. Yeah. And, so, yeah.
Bro, like, this is actually, it's crazy that you say that, because last night I was talking to my girlfriend about we're talking about like walking with the Lord and kind of like growing in faith, and she asked me a question that I haven't really thought about before, but she was like how did you get to the point where like you only listen to like Christian worship music? And I'm like, like 2 years ago I would have been like, if you just do that you're kind of weird, you know what I mean? And now here I am. For sure. Same. And I told her, I'm like, I think what happened in my life, and I think you'll 100% agree with this, is like you cling for the Lord, and when you want to become more like someone, you just want to be around them and have anything to do that will rub off on you, because like who you surround yourself with is what you become usually, right? And so like if I surround myself more with the Lord, then more likely I'm going to become more like Him. So like that's kind of just naturally happened for me. It was like as I got into my Bible, as I watched more sermons, as I prayed with the Lord more, then my heart grew like more appreciation towards these other things, and I just wanted to rub off Him to rub off more on me.
Yeah, bro. Same exact way. Like I can't change my life for Him, but then on the side, I listen to secular music and like feeding my spirit, that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And like I'm a music junkie. Like I like huge into rap, and like I was that type of person that like Thursday night I'm staying up to midnight to listen to certain like artists drop Friday morning, like, and I was like music, like if you ask anybody that knows me, any of my family, especially my wife, she's like, no, like he's a music junkie, like I love music. And it was kind of just something that was like a part of me, like that's how I started my day. I make music, like everything, like it's just like that was me. And like the secular stuff, like bro, I would be in the kitchen like helping my wife with dishes, and I like sing like a Juice WRLD or a Lil Uzi lyric, and my wife would look at me like, "What did you just say?" And I'd be like, "Dang, I just said like the most demonic thing in the world and didn't even like realize." You know what I mean? Just because like the like music, the vibrations and the sounds and the beat of music are made for like us to enjoy.
Yeah.
And so, you know, rap, secular music, like artists are really good and they know how to make songs catchy, and you know, you feel the vibrations of a song, it wears off on you, and so it's easy to remember. But like that like we can talk about that too. Like I got a whole testimony on that, but like the enemy uses secular music to mess with us as well. But I was like, I can't listen to this music but then like walk with the Lord and walk for the Lord. Like that's not a direct reflection of Him. Like, I can't do that. And so it was crazy because my wife, we all know Forrest Frank. She kind of like put me on to Forrest Frank, and then he was like I wouldn't say the first, but like one of the first Christian like artists that like made like not like the like generic praise and worship music. You know what I mean? So I started hearing Forrest, and I was like, dang, like this stuff is good. And then I started to find guys like Caleb Gordon, like Hobie, and just all these other artists. And like I'm like tapped in with like, I don't know if you guys know like Venice or like Isaac Mansfield or like De La Cruz, like just all these like Christian rap artists that like it filled that void for me. So that rap and secular music that I was listening to, I'm like, how could I ever go without listening to rap music? It was like the Lord just like, here it is. I got a whole platform of Christian rap artists who are like starting this new wave, and like dude, they just performed at freaking Rolling Loud, like the biggest like rap event in the world. That's and like crazy. It's just crazy how the Lord is working like in certain people and like getting music back on track, and like I don't know, it's just phenomenal. So like having found that, you know what I mean, like it filled that music void for me. I was like, dang, like now I'm good, like, you know what I mean. So it's but to your point, it's like you can't live that double life. Like these two people can't coexist. So I think that's maturity too, though, realizing that, you know what I mean.
Bro, when I started to realize like how like crazy and like how insane the devil is, I remember, how like some people when they get mad they just go, Jesus Christ, and I'm like, how did that even happen? You know what I mean? Like seriously, like like one of the commandments is do not use my name in vain, right? And now it's like something that like, and I used to say it, like I used to like not even that, like just naturally like it would happen. You know what I mean? Like you get really mad or like, and like we're the only faith. It's not like we're going, oh, Muhammad or anything like that. No one else like, but the devil like, and then it gives more testament to how true our faith is. Of course, the devil's going to attack on that. And like when I realized that, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like such a small thing. And I was like, how did that even happen?
No, bro, that's what I'm saying. Like it's not always like up in your face like this big catastrophe of an event. Like it's the little things that He just builds. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I just saw this like 2 days ago on, I think I was on Instagram, but it was somebody, they were talking to ChatGPT. And he was like, ChatGPT, if you were the devil, how would you how would you get me away from the Lord? And ChatGPT started talking like, well, if I was the devil, I would do planned, precise, small events to slowly deteriorate you away from the Lord. Like, and I'm like, that's literally that's how the enemy works. I mean, should you even think back into like the Garden of Eden, like a snake appears and says, did God really say that? Like, did God really say you can't eat from this tree? Like, or is it He's afraid that you eat this tree, you're going to be like, just like little small ways to like mess with us and like start thinking like, dang, maybe this is like, you know what I mean? And it's just, it's I don't know. The devil is a unique being, you know what I mean? Because, but you got to pray for like discernment and all that. Because if you're not walking with the Lord, if you're not into your favor, if you don't have that relationship, you would never know. You would never know. And the enemy takes advantage of people that don't know, for sure.
And we got another question. I think, if you fast forward or rewind to when you were in high school, beginning of college, before you really like took up your faith, what advice would you give that younger self?
Man, I don't know. A lot of people ask me this question, and I struggle with it. I don't know if it would be advice. I just look back now because I'm grateful for everything that happened in my life and the way that it happened in my life. But I do, it's not even really a regret, but I really do wish that like how you guys now, how you guys are now in high school, how you really have that personal relationship with the Lord. Like I wish I had that. So I guess my advice to my younger self would be find that earlier. You know what I mean? Because I feel like some of the stuff that I might have deemed adversity in high school or deemed adversity earlier in college, it would have been so much better if I was on a personal walk with the Lord. You know what I mean? And I say I don't regret it because I think the Lord has used my life exactly how he's wanted to use it. And he's placed things exactly in my life how they were supposed to go so that I can be to the point I am now. But I do wish that I had that relationship earlier, and I wish I did have the want to reach out to people earlier because, I mean, I think about people that I went to school with and some people who might not be doing the best at the time. You know, maybe if I knew what I knew now, they were in my friend group, you know what I'm saying? Maybe those conversations would have looked a lot different. And so, you know, I think about that a lot because I want people to be on fire for Jesus like I'm on fire for Jesus. I want people to be sitting in bed at home like I sit in bed at home and I'm pissed off that I messed up that day. Like I want people to hate sin like the Lord hates sin. I want people to be so on fire for the Lord. I want people to like think about going to heaven daily. Like I want people to feel that like and really know what it feels like. Because if you do, then there's no way you live a lukewarm life. You know what I mean? There's just no way. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Philip Anthony Mitchell. I think he might have asked me about him or something.
Maybe.
But he was on a podcast. He's on. You guys familiar with Girls Going Bible?
Yeah.
So he was on their podcast and he was talking about like Jesus is a furnace. Jesus is a fire, and a fire, whatever goes into a fire, you don't come out the same.
Yeah.
And it's like if you really are about Jesus, then there's no way that you stay the same. Like you have to change. You have no choice but to change.
Yeah.
And I wish I knew that earlier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because you know, just the amount of people that we can touch when we do know that. You know, a little bit. Some of those conversations would have been different.
Yeah. I got one more question. Well, I got two more questions.
Yeah.
But, like, I in my opinion, in my walk with the Lord and the people I've met, everyone has a different topic, or at least in different times of their life, that they're just like on fire for.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the faith right now, in the Bible, whatever it might be, what is the thing that you just like get fired up about in the Christian faith?
Yeah. It's a bunch of things. But I think just really as I've gotten older, I'm on fire for fellowship. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that's like, well, I don't need to go to church to be a Christian. Like I can be a Christian from home. And like I used to be that type of person. I used to be like, well, I don't need to go to church. Like I don't need to be around that environment to be a Christian or to serve the Lord. Which in some sense, yeah, that might be true. But we don't know how much we really need that fellowship.
Yeah.
Like church is like it's great to go and get the word, but it's really about that fellowship. It's about that friendship. It's about and I see you putting cut up the Bible. I know exactly what scripture you're going to. I just don't remember it. But
I'm going there too.
It's about that community, bro. Like it really is because just let's take for example. Like I'm sure we've all had days like this, but like our weeks like this where you're just in a rut and you just can't figure it out. Like you don't know what's wrong with you. Like you're praying, you're talking to God, not really hearing His voice. Like you don't know what's going on. But one day you go to church or you have a Bible study or you talk to some friends and it's a conversation about Jesus.
Yeah.
It's night and day.
Yep.
It's freaking night and day.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's just what I've been on fire for lately. Like trying to build that, like in the places that I'm in, whether that's the locker room or in my family. Like doing things like this. Like I just love talking about Jesus, talking about testimonies, talking about just life, man. Life is hard. Life is hard. Everybody experiences it a different way, and I don't know. Like that's what I'm on fire about.
I love that. I think we all agree with that.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, you get me fired up too, but got letter to Timothy right here. If I'm delayed, you will know how people ought to conduct themselves in God's household, which is the church of the living God, the pillar and foundation of the truth. The Bible says right here that church is a really good gateway to get into the truth, which is Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
And I love that you said that.
Yeah, man.
Bro.
It's real. No, it's real. No, good.
Some people don't like the truth though. Like that's what I've been noticing.
That's what Nick's kick has been.
I've been like, man, I know people that literally have had experiences that you're just like, that's undeniable, and they're still running,
Debating it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, and it's like, bro, I know people that it's just like, God is real. If we really broke it down, you would be like, yeah, I'm like very confident God is real. Then what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Bro, it's sad.
Yeah.
Like I really pray for the lost souls though. Seriously. And it's like I've been on this like little kick lately too. It's probably about to make me sound like a super old man, but like like in Texas, like we live in a suburban area where there's like a ton of farms and like a ton of animals and just like this land, and it's beautiful. I literally like drive around and like go outside and I just look around like just on a beautiful day, beautiful sunny day, just go outside and just like look around. Look at the clouds, look at the sun, look at the sky, look at the grass, look at the animals, like really like look at these animals. Like there's like a goat rescue not too far from my house, and like I drive by and I just look at the animals, like it's almost to a point where they look fake.
yeah,
Like they're so real that they look fake. And I'm like, God has to be real.
Yeah.
Like these animals that walk the earth like me, these birds that fly the earth like in the same space that humans walk, like it's like who else could have done this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
100%.
like I will get into an argument with a science about the Big Bang Theory, because like how bro, like how? And it's just like you can't tell me that the Lord isn't real, that he hasn't like counted every single hair on every single one of our bodies, like he knows us by name, he like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know.
God created this stuff and he saw that it was good.
yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like the same thing was like the thing with the animals too, is like are you not more special than the birds that fly or the animals that walk this earth? Like it says that in the Bible. Like why do you stress out?
Yeah.
Why do you worry? Why do you concern? Like, do I not value you more than these animals like that feed off the earth and like are good, have no concerns, have no worries, just live life?
Yeah.
Like, why as humans, why don't we do that?
yeah,
Why don't we do that? Because we know that the living Father like provides for us. Like no matter what it looks like, and no matter if you're in your worst turmoil of your life, like he's gonna provide. I feel like I'm up here preaching right now. Jesus, like it's real. It's real though. It's real. So
and don't feel old because we all do. But and then my final question, unless you guys have any other questions, is kind of more of a silly thing, but like in like middle school, at like recess or whatever, did you guys like do like the races? I remember like, did you always win?
Oh, absolutely.
I was thinking about that on the drive here this morning. I'm like, that dude probably smoked every single kid.
Every single time, bro. Like so track was actually the first sport that I ever did. I started track when I was 6 years old.
Wow.
And,
6 years old?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
my mom, like, she was like, single parent home, like, she's like, he got too much energy, I gotta do something. So, and that's where I'm at with my son now. I'm like, bro, you have to do something. Like, you just bug your sister all day. Like, you're fighting with a 3-year-old. How does that even make sense? But I don't know. Just gifted. Man, I had some great coaches at a young age. Blessed with the talent. And shoot, I don't know, the rest was history. But like, I don't know. That made me think, because I'm like, people are gonna be probably mad at me tonight because like I wrote a speech for this jersey retirement, but I'm also like debating on just like talking from the heart, because like I don't want to look at a piece of paper. Like I just want to talk. You know what I mean? And I just like, it's not about me.
Yeah.
Like sure, this jersey retirement is the Durant Grant and the Parris Campbell jersey retirement, but like it's not about me. Like I just wear the jersey. The Lord has just put me in the place and put me in a position to touch people. Like it's been His plan all along. It's been His plan of why I came and went to St. D. did the things that I did. Going to Ohio State, did the things that I did. Being in the NFL, like it's His story.
Yeah.
He just placed me in a position to have a platform to tell people about Him.
Yeah.
And like I really want to make that point tonight, that like, yeah, sure, we're here celebrating this jersey, but like that jersey is so much more than just the stats that came with it. Because the Lord, like, man, He's used me in ways that I thought I'd never be used before. And I don't know, man. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed to be in the position that I am. But like it doesn't happen without him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't happen when I feel like I'm giving my speech right now. Like, it don't happen without the people that's gonna be in them stands. Like it does not happen. Like I'm just a byproduct of everything that they done. I'm a byproduct of everything that he's placed before me. Yeah, I got the puppet strings on my shoulder. You know what I mean? So just trying to do his will, man. Trying to do his will.
John 3:30. He must increase, I must decrease.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, anyone got any final things?
I feel like I've learned a lot.
I think we're gonna call this one fatherhood.
Love it.
I think that was the theme that came to
Good
mind.
thing.
But
Love it.
all right, any final remarks? Any final
Man,
advice?
I really appreciate you guys for having me.
We appreciate you.
I really do. I think what you guys got going is phenomenal. I would say continue to pour into this. Continue to pour into you guys' communities. Even if something along the way happens, like I'm sure like you guys go off to college, whatever that looks like. I don't know, but like keep this circle tight.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it tight because this circle is going to do wonders for y'all as y'all go off and venture into different parts of y'all lives. Just continue to be grounded in your faith. Continue to have this fellowship, have this community, because in y'all's darkest moments, you're gonna pray and talk to the Lord, but this fellowship and this circle is really, really what's going to propel you through certain things of life. But yeah, man, just keep being y'all. Continue to pour into everything that y'all doing, and just continue to be great, man. I thank God for y'all. Seriously.
Thank you so much. We thank God for you. We really appreciate you taking time. I know it's busy.
Nah, all good.
But,
all good.
but yeah, that's a wrap.